Okay, everybody. So we are here for another Wellbeing Wednesday, and I'm so excited to welcome our guests and to have a great discussion today. So first of all, for those of you who are joining us for the very first time, I would like to welcome you to your first Wellbeing Wednesday episode. And if it is not your first time, I'd love to welcome you back to another episode. This is the Curricula Concepts monthly segment that shows child care providers and caregivers like you simple ways to support your own well-being, because taking care of you is in fact taking care of others. So whether you're an early childhood educator, director, a parent, or let's be honest, someone who just feels like a parent some days, there is something in these episodes for you. You're sure to be able to get some actionable advice and tips on how to support your overall well-being and get back to feeling like yourself. So I'm your host, Susanna Creed. I am the lead well-being coach with the Be Well, Care Well Arkansas program. This is a Curricula Concepts program that is all about supporting the well-being of our child care providers. So this month, August, we're getting back to school. It's in full swing. Many of us are busy getting our kids ready, which includes getting them up to date on any of their shots and physical exams. But the type of preventative care isn't just for kids. It's also for us as adults too. We often focus so much on how to keep those in our care healthy, but we sometimes neglect our own health. Well, no more. That stops this month, because this month's theme is all about preventative care for adults. That means all of you watching. So what do we mean by preventative care? Don't worry, I'll let our guests explain that in much more detail than I could in just a moment. And speaking of, I would love to welcome today's Wellbeing Wednesday guests. It is Leititia Bailey and Cheryl Johnson. Give us a wave. Awesome. So Leititia Bailey is awesome, and she is the health program coordinator in the Baptist Health Community Outreach Department. So that is the community outreach arm of Baptist Health. And Leititia implements programs educating individuals about conditions affecting their well-being and promotes wellness by helping people adopt healthy behavior. So she does a lot of the brains of the programs that they offer. And then Cheryl Johnson is also awesome, and she is the community education nurse manager and has been with Baptist Health for over 20 years. She currently oversees clinical management and education in the community outreach department. Thank you both so much for being here. And I hinted at it earlier. I wanted to see if you could kick us off by explaining a little bit more about what is preventative care, and specifically, what does that look like for adults?
Sure. Well, thank you for having us both on. When you think about preventative care, it's basically designed to prevent illnesses, harms, anything like that. When you're looking at preventive care in terms, when you're comparing it to treatment, it basically just keeps the individual healthy overall. Whereas treatment, on the other hand, it addresses a specific problem or condition that the preventive care can eliminate. So Cheryl has she did a good analogy on it. And so you want to share, Cheryl?
Yes, thank you for having us again. We are so delighted to share with your audience today. I think it's very important that we look at preventative care because as I was talking, as me and Leititia was preparing for this, I kind of thought about preventative care for our bodies, just like we do for our cars, our vehicles, in terms of making sure that we get our oil change on times, our services, our scheduled services. So that helps to prevent problems long term. And so it's the same thing with our body. If we do preventative care on the front end, then we can eliminate some long-term complications or health effects that could be detrimental to our body. So I think preventative care is very important. It's something that's a great tool that we should always be mindful of, that in long term could help us, live longer and stronger lives. So we'll talk a little bit more about exactly what some things that we can do in terms of preventative care.
Awesome. And it's funny, actually, I was thinking the exact same thing, that we have a comment from Sarah talking about she needs an oil change. I don't know, Sarah, if you mean that like your body needs an oil change or your car, because this immediately made me think, oh no, I have to get my oil changed. And isn't that so funny? Like what I thought of first was not my own health. It was, oh, my car, which is a thing that can be replaced. But meanwhile, the first thing that came to my mind was not taking care of myself and my body's oil change, whatever that might be. I just think that's always so interesting and just wanted to share that. So
Yeah. And the thing with preventive care, it can be a hard tool to sell because people normally don't go to the doctor if that there's not a problem and if they feel healthy. However, that's why that preventive care is there. So there could be something underlying going on. There could be you being on the brink of something, some illness or condition escalating. So it's very important that we do make sure that we have all of those preventive screenings and tests every year.
yeah, for sure. And I think y'all are probably going to get into this because I typically just kind of assume like my doctor does whatever those assessments are. But, can you maybe tell us a little bit more about what types of assessments you're talking about for preventative care? And, are those things that our doctors all do, or those things that we need to kind of ask for and advocate for ourselves to do?
I know that normally when I go, it's always your blood pressure, your blood sugar. They listen to your heart, check your eyes and ears, the weight, of course, and then they do tests on the blood. Now, those specific tests, you need to really ask about those because sometimes those always aren't included in that panel. And it took me a while to figure that out because I was like, well, I thought I was getting screened for XYZ, for years. And they're like, no, you have to ask for that. So you have to really be an advocate for your health and really, if you have to go in there with a pad and a pencil, do it, So, but we do have a listing of screenings that are recommended by age and, whether you're a male or female. And so that was the screening checklist I told you about that I would get you all of those. And we can share. We have them here. I don't know them all by heart, but we have them here. So, and I'm doing for 18 through 65. So of course you need that physical exam. And as I said, that contains the BMI, the blood pressure, the blood sugar, the cholesterol, all of those basic things. And that should be done every year. Then for your heart health, that would be going into the cholesterol and the blood sugar. And then we have our colorectal health. And so that would be, an exam. And then that starts at a certain age as well. And of course, you always want to have that blood sugar taken because that, that'll let you know if you're at risk for diabetes and then what you need to do to prevent getting diabetes or if you have diabetes. And then for men, they need to get that PSA, that prostate health test. And then for women, we're looking at cervical, breast, all of that. And then something that I think that we put to the side and not really put with our annual anything are the vaccinations. And so, we need that flu vaccination. We need the Hep A. Is it Hep A?
Hepatitis A.
Hep A. We, as you get older, the shingles, the pneumonia, and now, we're going through this COVID pandemic. And so, that's something that individuals should consider as well.
And you can always talk to your healthcare provider once you go in for your yearly screenings. Just kind of ask them where, based on your age, what preventative healthcare measures should I be aware of at my age? Because certain, like the colorectal screening, the age has gotten younger. At first it was 50. You should get it at 50 years old, but now the data is showing a little bit earlier. And especially if you have risk factors such as family history of family members who have had cancer or colon cancer, then you probably should be screened a little bit earlier.
Yes.
So we have to advocate for ourselves in terms of, you know, healthcare and talking to your provider about what screening should you do. Blood pressure screenings, we would recommend those as often as possible, because sometimes you don't have to just go to your healthcare provider to get those. They now have monitors in Walmart, you know, Walgreens, just different various places you can go and get your blood pressure checked. Especially if you have already been diagnosed with hypertension or a problem with your blood pressure, that is a screening tool that you want to implement more frequently so that you can measure and know what your numbers are. So you can also buy those monitors at home, and have one at home where you can check your blood pressure daily or as often as you feel you need to. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about one of our programs which deals with hypertension, but I think that one's a big one where you can catch a lot of things if you know what your blood pressure is, because that's part of your normal vital signs where your health check, it'll tell you exactly what's going on with your body is your blood pressure. It's a very simple measurement, but it's a very important measurement.
Yeah, definitely. And also one of the things with risk assessments like this and preventative care, for those of you who are listening to us today, know that, maybe, you get that in your primary care office, or sometimes your employer can bring somebody on to actually provide those. So actually, fun fact, that's actually how I met Miss Leititia here. She actually got a couple of nurses together and came and provided all these types of screenings that they were talking about. I think it was blood pressure, BMI and weight, diabetes.
Yes, and
blood sugar, cholesterol.
And the cholesterol. That's what it was.
That was the full panel of cholesterol.
Yes. And the cholesterol is important. It tells you a little bit about heart health, how your blood vessels and your heart is. So combined with your blood pressure reading and your cholesterol readings, that can help you stay on track in terms of your risk factors for heart disease and stroke and things like that. So awesome. That's a very important screening tool.
So quick question on that, because I mean, I don't know, health can sometimes be overwhelming, especially if, say you're learning for the first time how to advocate for yourself, because so much of the time, we just kind of follow and we don't realize like, oh, we can ask for these things, or I can get more information. For maybe anybody who is watching, and they say, okay, I want to start to advocate for myself and I want to do some preventative health things and I'm going to go into my doctor's office, but then they kind of get overloaded with information and they're like, all right, where do I start? What are maybe like one or two either questions or techniques or the top things that they should ask for if they've never done it before and they're about to go into their doctor's office for their physical?
I would say, something that I always think of is make sure that you know your numbers. And so that hits on the blood sugar, the blood pressure, the cholesterol, and the BMI, because those, as Cheryl stated, those are indicators of, obesity, as far as the BMI goes. And obesity in turn, being overweight and obese in turn, can lead to those other chronic diseases such as cancer and heart disease. And then those are the things that I would always ask for, those 5 tests.
Yeah, and that's great. I agree with Leititia also. And just to keep it simple, if you go into your provider, you can just say, I want to know what's my overall health. And then you talk to your provider about your health goals. Where are you in terms of health, being healthy, and then staying on that continuum of health, wellness. So you want to talk about your health goals. Just start with that. Say, I want to know, what do I need to do to maintain a healthy person for me? Start with where I am, and then what are our health goals? And work with your provider together and see what are your health goals based on where you are currently and, any chronic conditions you may have or risk factors. I think looking at your risk factors for illness and potential illness will help you to understand what your goals are and what you should do to stay on a continuum of wellness care.
Yes, and that family history is very important, and
Mhm,
people,
respect it.
yeah, they don't, they tend to not think of that. And that's why it's important for us to go to the doctor every single year. I know that sometimes, we go for like a cold or something like that, but you're only going for a specific problem. So you aren't spending much time. So that annual appointment is the time where you go, you get to know your doctor, you try to get all those tests ran and everything. And then that also, it just helps to build that relationship. And things change every year, and then, and they do ask questions where sometimes we aren't comfortable and maybe we don't tell the truth, but now is the time for you to not fudge it. They ask about your social life, your life, lifestyle behaviors, alcohol, smoking, and sex and all of that. So this is the time for individuals to really, really just be honest and ask those questions.
Okay, so I was trying to capture some of that when you were talking, and that was the 5 tests, the 5 main tests that you talked about were BMI, weight, blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That was it, wasn't it?
Those are yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. And then talk to your doctor, making sure that that's written down in the comments. If anybody else is a visual person like me, I got it.
Yeah.
And talk to the doctor about your health goals.
Yes.
Because especially, in Be Well, Care Well, I talk with a bunch of providers who are saying, that they want to lose weight, or they want to, get off their diabetes medication. I was so excited. I got an email this morning actually about one of our people who she just told me that there's a high possibility that she might be able to lower her diabetes medication finally and possibly even go off of it. Yeah.
That's great. Yes, that is great.
Awesome. And I know you had a couple of things that you wanted to talk about with your programs. So while you were doing that, anybody in the comments, if you have questions or comments or something you want us to address, please put it in the comments. Because at the end of this, we'll make sure to circle back to those. All right, okay. I'm done talking. Y'all have the floor.
Okay, so when we're talking about the preventive health, we do offer classes. We have wellness centers throughout Central Arkansas where you can just go and get free checks. And then we have some amazing programs. So one program is our Know It and Control It program, and that's Cheryl's baby. So I'm going to let her talk about the Know It and Control It.
Absolutely. I'm passionate about it because Know It, Control It is a blood pressure management program, and it's an evidence-based program. And the whole premise behind it is that if we know what our blood pressure is, then we can help control it and make sure that it stays at our set goal. So the whole concept behind this program is we teach our participants how to check their blood pressure. And we also can assist them in providing them with a blood pressure monitor for their home, something that they can use at home and check it. We ask them closely with their healthcare provider and find out what their goal for their blood pressure is. That program also, it's like we develop a support group for each person. You can always contact us. Leititia's been specially trained in that program, as well as myself, to where we can help just talk through some issues that people with high blood pressure may be having. That program topics includes things like, first of all, knowing your numbers, knowing what blood pressure numbers should be. And we can get you that flyer that you can post also to tell us what our numbers should be. A couple of years ago, the American Pediatrics and the American Heart Association came out with blood pressure numbers. What is a normal blood pressure range? What is elevated range? What is stage 1 hypertension, and stage 2, and then critical range? So it's important to know what range your blood pressure should be in. So we teach our participants what those numbers mean, what each level means, and then help them to categorize which level they are on. We also teach them about other factors that can affect our blood pressure, such as our diet. Decreasing our sodium intake in our diet is very important. We talk about physical activity, ways to stay active. We talk about things even as important as stress management and sleeping well. So it's a very important program. The participants who have been through it absolutely love it and have learned a lot. So I'm really excited about it.
That's amazing.
And so our next program is our diabetes prevention program. And so this is a year-long program, and I know that sounds like a long time, but we have had some amazing results. The participants love it. They're like, can we go on? And I'm like, we just went through a year.
That's amazing though.
The first 16 classes is every week for an hour, and then we go every 2 weeks for a few months, and then we meet monthly. And so Cheryl and I are just ending the class, and our last class is next week. And at the last class we had, they were like, this has really helped us. You all have been great facilitators, encouraging. And so that just made us feel, so good. Like we are really making a difference. But the goal of the program, of course, is to lower the risk of those that are pre-diabetic, I guess you want to say. And also to, at the end of the program, we challenge them to lose 5 to 7% of their weight, starting weight. And we've had some good numbers. Yeah. And then encourage them to exercise, be physically active at least 150 minutes a week. And that can be, anything from you going to the gym if you like, walking around the block, cleaning your house, cleaning your yard, as long as you're up and you're getting that heart pumping and moving. And so we have various topics. There are a lot of nutrition classes. We teach them how to shop healthy at the grocery store. We have fitness, some fitness classes where we actually do some chair exercises and stuff like that.
There you go.
We talk about stress management because that, falls into play with all that. And then, just really try to motivate them, keep them encouraged, because a year is a long time to stay dedicated. And so to be in that program, you just have to be 18 years or older. You have to be in a certain range with your A1C, and that is your test that over 3 months period, it gives you the average of your blood sugar, and then make us be at risk on your diabetes risk assessment. And what's the
have a BMI?
Yeah, and have a BMI that's greater than 25. And so, that program has really been a success. So.
That's awesome. And so with all that you're giving, how much does that cost?
Everything that we do is free.
Absolutely.
I see what I did there, because everyone's like, okay, I have to pay for this, right?
No, everything is free that we do for the community. And prior to COVID, we were having in-house classes, and we would serve lunches and have cooking demonstrations. So hopefully we'll be moving back to that soon. So everything that we do, all the incentive, everything is just free to the participant. We just want them to walk away with awareness, lifestyle changes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And so for those of you who are just joining us, I know Christine, you were on, Chris was on with us last month as well. And she just said, wow, which is so true. So I just posted, and also if I'm looking down, I apologize. It's because I'm like here commenting and I'm still getting the hang of it. Yeah. But I posted y'all's Facebook page, which is full of awesome things. They have tons of events, tons of free things. And then also check out their website. It's also in the comments there. I think you have to hit see more to be able to see it, but it's basically baptisthealth.com/community outreach. They have a calendar page, and let me pull it up again, because just next week, y'all have COVID drive-through clinic, blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol screenings at different sites. You all have hypertension 101, cesarean birth, and then another drive-through COVID clinic. And that's not even talking about what they're doing in the coming weeks after that. Oh, I see your postpartum 101 work as well as your diabetes support group. So literally just go check them out. These are some of the most amazing women and just professionals that I've been able to connect with. And they really just love on the people who do all of this and who want to live healthier lives. And it's all to support you all. And let's be real, after the last year for everybody, money is tight. So, these are free resources. And for those of you, I see a couple of you in the comments who are with our Be Well, Care Well. Hey, Susan. I know Teresa Slay, I believe, is on. If not now, she was. So, this is a great thing to support the work that they're doing. I've already got them in a year program. So I'll be like, hey, do this additional thing. It's also a year, just roll it into one. But seriously, it's amazing, amazing work. And today we actually will have, probably need to start to wrap up, unfortunately, because we have an awesome little thing that we want to make sure that we share with you all. So before we sign off, I do want to quickly announce the 3 winners of our July Water Challenge. So for those of you who don't know, in Be Well, Care Well, for our participants in that program who are child care providers, last month we challenged them to drink half a gallon of water every single day. Yeah, and so it was one of these little water bottles. Well, this is 32 ounces, so they had to drink 2 of these. Mine has seen some love because this comes with me everywhere, but they were challenged to drink that and track their intake. And then they were able to send a picture of their trackers in to me, and we were going to randomly draw from that 3 winners. So they are going to win a Summer Sun gift basket. Woo! So if your name, I know, right? I know it's pretty, but it's Arkansas. We still got some heat coming in. So y'all will be able to get that. So if your name is called, just know that I will be reaching out to you either through Facebook Messenger, through a phone call, or through email to make sure that I can get you your gift basket. Those will probably be in the next week or so. So just giving y'all a heads up on that. So without further delay, our first winner was, easy like that, I had to do a literal drum roll, Christina Wheeler from Miss Carrie's Day School. So snaps for you, Christina, just rocking that challenge out. So that's actually Miss Carrie's Day School is one of the programs that our other coach, Tori Miller, works with. I think she was on here at a little point. So congrats to one of our newest participant schools. So Christina, I'll reach out to you. Our next one, I'm excited because also there was another challenge within the challenge. It was like challenge-ception, where basically if they posted or sent us pictures of them participating in the challenge, or if they posted on social media showing pictures of themselves doing the challenge, they got extra entries into the drawing. And our next person actually did send quite a couple of people, or quite a couple of pictures. And it was awesome just to see it be like water, and it'd just be great. But this person is Anita Milligan from Good Morning Sunshine. So we're super excited. They are also kind of one of our new programs coming on board. They're one of mine, so I'm super excited. But Anita, I will definitely reach out to you either through email or by phone or by Facebook to get you your Summer Sun gift basket. And then last but not least, we have Miss Whitney Wilcox from CrossFit Pre-K. Woo. So Whitney Wilcox from CrossFit Pre-K also. I'm excited, one of mine, but so I'm super excited because I haven't gotten to meet in person our CrossFit Pre-K people. So I will get to meet them next week. So Whitney, I will probably be bringing your son gift basket with me when I get to meet you in person next week. So again, that's Christina Wheeler, Anita Milligan, and Whitney Wilcox. So excited for you all. Thank you all so much for putting your self-care and your health first. Even through all the craziness, you were willing to, take a small step to support yourself. And this is a preventative healthcare measure, by intaking more water. So yeah,
all the winners.
I know, right? I'm loving the comments right now. Yes, Susan, she's one of yours. So Susan Wilkins is on with us, and she's the director at Good Morning Sunshine. So she was like, yes, Miss Anita, because that's her person. So again, I want to say thank you to Leititia and to Cheryl for joining us today and sharing some great tips for how we can keep our own health on track. We also want to give a special shout out to our partners, the U of A's Early Care and Education Projects. They are the ones who actually helped bring Be Well, Care Well to Arkansas. And by default, they also help bring Wellbeing Wednesday to Arkansas. So definitely, if you are interested in any of their classes, and if you're like, I got lost in the comments, you can feel free to Facebook message me. You can feel free to
give us a call at the office.
Yep, that number is all there too as well. And I'm actually going to put one last thing in the comments here. So if you are a childcare provider and you're like, oh, this would be really cool, I really want to sign up for Be Well, Care Well, or want to learn more, I just put the information in the link down in the comments. So you can see there kind of what the program is about. You can apply directly from there. And also my email address is on there. So feel free to reach out with any sort of questions, comments, concerns, and just I will post each of these. These are the Facebook. Let me see. So Baptist Health Facebook coming into the comments for you. The website. Oh, Christine, question. Did you get your, she was entered into a drawing during our last Wellbeing Wednesday, and she got a full spa day. So, a little mini spa day of
mental health.
Yep, exactly. So we were able to mail that to her, but I wanted to see if she had gotten it. Feel free to comment down below if you did, because hopefully it was so nice. Oh, yay. Did you like them? Were they good products? Like, did they work with you? I know I'm waiting for a comment. And then the last phone number here, that is for Baptist. So the very last things here for y'all are their Facebook page, their website, which has that calendar on it, and also their phone number. So they are great with answering their phone and calling back. So if for any reason you have questions or if you want more information, please feel free to go to them. You can also go to me too, whatever works. So with that, I think that is all that I have. Do you have any last thoughts, Miss Leititia?
I just want to thank you for inviting us, and I hope that the listeners that they will be able to take some of these tips and implement them. And so I would love to hear any success stories.
Yes, we do love to hear your successes. So thank you all again. So make sure to follow Curricula Concepts on Facebook and Instagram so you don't miss a thing. Like next month's Wellbeing Wednesday, it'll be the first Wednesday of the month, similar to this. And if you like today's show, please feel free to share it with your friends, family, and coworkers. And like I said earlier, if you're a childcare provider and you want to learn more about Be Well, Care Well, and possibly enroll in the program, the website is down in the comments below. And yeah, with that, again, thank you to Baptist Health Community Outreach, to Leititia and to Cheryl. And this has been another Wellbeing Wednesday. I'm your host, Susanna Creed, wishing you well.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.